Capable Communities program has been in the area of southeast New South Wales and the Snowy Valley because these regions were severely affected by the Black Summer bushfires.
The main goal is to support businesses and communities in building their economic and business resilience so that they feel more prepared.
So our whole team is getting together, we're hitting the road and we're visiting the community stakeholders that we've been working really closely with.
So the roadshow is part of the handover process from us to the New South Wales Reconstruction Authority, part of our evaluation of how we contributed towards disaster risk reduction, economic resilience. We need to hear the feedback from the community.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Sally Matthews. I'm with the Yarralul Progress Association and welcome to our beautiful hall here into our beautiful valley.
I can't speak highly enough of the work that Natasha and George did with Business Chamber. Fantastic, positive, support, professional.
We have a very unique approach. We go to the community stakeholders and we listen, and working out where they currently are and then determining how we could possibly support them.
It's not we're here to do this, you've got to answer these questions, but it's what can we do? And that makes it different. You feel like there's a heavy weight lifted off because someone's there to help you.
I remember how the community was a bit skeptical about us coming in because they didn't really understand what our approach was. Year after in this roadshow and seeing some of those faces, they made me feel like a local.
There is still anguish here and people scared, even this long after the fires.
We sit and listen, and with that in mind, with the trauma and the history, and allow the community to express what's actually happening for us to get a sense of what their needs are.
We have a database of skilled business volunteers and we work out what the community needs by liaising with the community closely.
They will look for that skill set through our database, and then we will match the volunteer to the community partner.
My name is Alex and I founded the Compost Club, and we collect scraps from residents and businesses hoping to save our precious organic waste resources from landfill. I was connected with Alan and Shirley through Australian Business Volunteers. We met up online about once a week and they helped me look at the program or the project from a business perspective, which is something that, because it was more of a passion project of mine, that I really had a bit of a resistance to, so they were able to hold my hand through that process, and we came up with a business plan or a business strategy, I guess. SAGE stands for Sustainable Agriculture and Gardening Eurobodalla. This site here acts as an education space but also a demonstration site. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe you put your hands in there, but I'm very used to it. A bacteria that exists in the soil and the compost, that if you touch it with your hands, it boosts your serotonin. And I can say I have thousands of friends.
I'm Lisa, I'm from Repurposing for Resilience, Eurobodalla. We're a small not-for-profit. We reuse and repurpose solar panels to keep them out of landfill, but we also run training and workshop for community to upskill them. We are currently building a emergency power solar trailer for the community.
That would be the dream. I mean, you know, how cool would it be to have these things parked in every little nook and cranny that's needed?
I think what ABV offers is access to resources that these communities don't have access to.
Sometimes it can take a few months to work out exactly what their needs are and how we can satisfy those needs and support them, and then working it out together, co-designing a workshop or working out that they need to meet certain people that they haven't met, so brokering relationships or friendships.
ABV's input created connections within the community. We've been, through ABV, connected into the ranges and looking at how their programs can work in this region for a lot of different reasons. To do their cool burns, bush tucker walks, and just generally build awareness and pride in the Indigenous community that exists in this region.
After we were approached by Australian business volunteers, the idea was to come up with a 2-day conference. This conference is all about teaching other agencies what cultural burning is, what our traditional land management is. We've invited agencies from right across the board, NGOs, government organisations, just too numerous to mention. If you had something to do with the land, we wanted you there and we sent out the invites. So just what I wanted to say was, I know we've talked about cultural burning, I know I have for years and years and years, and we all sit around saying, you know, why aren't we kicking and screaming and doing something about it? So I'm thinking today is the day that we all start kicking and screaming. One voice is not enough. We need millions of voices. So I'm hoping that we can say in the future that all of us here were a part of that kicking and screaming.
In our language is Ambara. Yeah, that's what Ambara means. Black duck. And that's King Merriman's Island, and it's shaped as the black duck.
Amanda's been open to wider opportunities with the cultural tourism and the boardwalk, and her community being able to get RFS access and emergency access road.
We've been working behind the scenes there, but to actually get there on the ground with Amanda and walk around with her and have her show us where the dream of her boardwalk and where the access road is made such a difference.
And right below, Gulliga Mountain, it's such a landmark place. It's a deeply, deeply spiritual place.
The Australian business volunteers and other groups that come to town were, like a godsend. They came to town, helped us through that, especially with community stuff, community infrastructure that was needed to improve the amenity and facility and to get everyone out and about and together again.
As you can understand, we were busy, very busy at the time, and capacity was really low. It was really great to have that professional level of support from ABV. We were looking at a renewables project. ABV gave us some advice about that. They also brought the big map to town and gave us some information about that and promoted it. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have got on board with that.
This is a complex space. It's not clean, it's not linear.
Sometimes there's a bit of a clunkiness to it. A lot of these projects, we'd like to stay there for longer, but we can't stay there for longer.
That doesn't mean that we aren't hopeful that if ABV can continue to be funded, that we might not be able to work with them again. And in fact, I would think that it's imperative that they did get funded to continue the work that they've been doing so far.
It's a story of hope. It's a story of regrowth. It's a story of inspiration and community leaders who know what they need, and of government and organisations starting to listen to the community, and that I think is the best thing.